that you'll never break. That risk they say don't ever take. That feeling that keeps you awake. You can't let it go. No, you can't let it go. That voice keeps screaming in your head.
Different meditation techniques or reasons to meditate.
Because they had toxins back then. They were cleaning the system out during the days of the pharaohs, okay?
Recognize each other's uniqueness at each, because God has a plan for both of you.
I can have a baby and I can raise a child without you. That's kind of a shot at the male spirit.
Well, hello and happy Friday. It's Twyler Jenkins here. I am the founder and CEO of the I Am That Woman movement and retreat. It is May. Can you believe it? We are already marching down through the second week of May. Today being May, the Friday the 13th. No scary moments here. It is all good. And this month being Mental Health Awareness Month, we are focusing on our mental health today. And I pray that you are mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually well, knowing that that is what the I Am That Woman movement is all about. Hey, Shy, my number one fan. I love you so much, sis. Thank you for joining. That is what the I Am That Woman movement is all about. We are here to help high achieving women of color to support you in your health and wellness, to make sure that we are providing you with information, resources, and events about your mental, emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual well-being. Today, unlike any other, we have a special guest that's going to be talking about our mental health and wellness. Super excited to have her talking about her business and her life coaching and what she does. But before we do that, and I bring you more information on her, we have a new event coming up. Yes, something that can help you relieve your stress, something that can help you just come out, have fun, kick it. You know, we love creating opportunities for our sisters as well as our brothers this time to come out. We're launching our first annual golf outing. We are super excited about it. We are going to have some major and Diamante's put it up there and it's like right over me. But anyway, the golf outing fundraiser is going to be at Silver Lake Golf Course. It's going to be June the 25th. Super excited. Hey, Jackie, good evening. It is going to be only $150 per person, $600 for a foursome. But we actually have a special where you can register this month. So if you do the early bird, it's only $500 for a foursome and $125 for individual golfers and $85 for our golf supporters. And our golf supporters means that you are just coming out to have fun with us and to network. This special starts today and will go until May the 30th. So please use our link tree to register, and Diamante will drop that in the chat. So we are super excited that on Friday, June 25th, we're having our first annual golf outing. I know there's a lot of women out there who golf, and I know that you want to be a part of this out in Silver Lake. So we hope that you will have a good time joining us for that. Hey, Jewel, good to see you this evening, and so happy you could join us. So again, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And we know that we all need to be mentally well. I was so happy to be able to go home and visit with my 81-year-old mother for Mother's Day. And she's doing good to be 81. She has all of her mental well-being all about her, strong as ever. And it was so good to see my sister Jewel while I was at home. So good to see you. Well, today, Alisha Broadus, who is a native Washingtonian, she graduated with a bachelor's in psychology and is a candidate for a master's in mental health counseling. Throughout her professional journey from being case manager to an IT specialist supervisor, her goal has been to assist others. And with this, after 15 years in the government, and the mental health field. She gambled on herself and went out on her own. She stepped out on faith. Now with 2 businesses, she not only is a life coach who owns CSCM Life Coaching, she also owns Clear Space, Clear Mind Home Solutions business for home organizing and interior design. I know that you definitely want to make sure that your space is not cluttered and that you have your space at home oftentimes reflects your mind. So if your office space or your workspace is cleared, generally your mind can be a little bit clearer. So we're going to talk about how those 2 businesses even coincide with each other with Alisha Broadus. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Alisha right on into the conversation. Hey, my sister. Uh-oh, I don't have sound on you. Okay. Yes, it's cutting in and out. We did a sound check before. Do it again, Alisha. I can't hear you. Whatever you touch it again because I can't hear you.
Okay.
It's like you're going in and out. Oh no, we're having sound difficulties. Let's see if she. It seems like it's.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Good. Friday.
Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm doing just well. How about yourself?
I am doing great. We had a prep call earlier, and I am excited about this conversation about mental health and awareness month. But before we get into what we're going to be talking about, which is our state of mind and the mind power, because we know that the mind is very powerful, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Well, as you stated, I am a native Washingtonian, born and raised. I am in Maryland now, so I will always be DC and close to home. I am a single mother, 1 teenage boy. Got to enjoy that motherhood. And also, yes, I did. I took a leap of faith and I stepped out on my own to be an entrepreneur. It's something that I wanted for myself for a while. And so I started off in psychology field. And so, yes, I did get my bachelor's and I'm a candidate for my master's for mental health counseling. So I grew up with it. My mom is a therapist. So I grew up around that. And so I got the bug.
Nice. Wow, beautiful. So your mom is a therapist and you just follow right on in those footsteps.
Yeah, she took me to work when I was little all the time, and I guess it got me. So I went on to do 15 years of some mentoring and a little coaching in mental health field. I did do government for 15 years, ended up in IT, which I never thought. So to show you never know which way your path will go. And now, you know, I had my organizing business back in 2012, took a little bit of a break, and then started back last year and decided to incorporate interior design, which I enjoy. And then moved on to life coaching. So now I'm maintaining both. It's a task, but I enjoy it. I enjoy every moment.
Awesome. When you love what you do, it's really not a job.
Absolutely.
It's just what you love to do. So wonderful. So you became an entrepreneur in 2012, starting your own business, kind of helping people to organize and helping them to declutter. And now you've added interior design to that. And that, you know, really that is so symbolic to even what you do for women mentally and emotionally with your life coaching. And so life coaching, I'm sure, has been a sweet endeavor as well. And tell us a little bit about your business and what you do in regards to life coaching.
So with life coaching, I am currently in the middle of my certification, just wanted to, you know, kind of handle the professional route. However, I do have clients that I coach, and I've been coaching women who are, you know, in the midst of trying to figure out their careers or their business. And so it's more so women of color that I'm assisting, and I am enjoying every bit of it. And it's, you know, this is a good topic because, as you and I spoke earlier, I found a connection to really all of my clients.
Yeah, that is that commonality, that common thread. And I think now more than ever, women just really need to have resources and information and events to be able to come out to help just kind of I would say, like, solidify our mental health and wellness. Not that you even necessarily have to be diagnosed with a mental health disorder, but these days there's so much pressure and stress that we are under with our jobs, our children, our community. I say it all the time. We do a really good job of taking care of other people. We don't do so much of a good job of taking care of ourselves. So what has been that common theme that you have seen kind of with your patients these days?
So, the common theme tends to be with ourselves. It's that internal struggle. And that internal struggle, it's very deep rooted, and it goes back to our ancestors. Something you and I, discussed before, that oppression that goes from generation to generation that really we're not really aware of, because it's in that subconscious. And so it isn't until maybe something happens, or you find a life coach or a therapist, that they start to ask those questions, that you really start to dig. And so, as I say, just like weeds, if we don't get to the root of it, it keeps coming back, until we really get to the root of it and work at it. And it is work. It's just that, it's work.
It is work. And that's something that in our prep call earlier, I even said, literally, I said on our website about the I Am That Woman retreat, I tell women, don't make the investment if you're not ready to show up and do the work. And oftentimes, by the time a woman or someone gets a therapist, oftentimes it's because they've either been mandated to get some work done, hopefully not court ordered, or because they are so uncomfortable with themselves, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and they want to do something different and try and figure something out. And so when we do come to a therapist, or when we start talking to someone, it can be uncomfortable getting to the root of the problem. What are some of the things that you do in that process to help us to create digging up that root?
So, in getting to the root of the problem, a lot of times I tell my clients I'm going to, kind of dig, and it may get uncomfortable. And so it's very intriguing to kind of hear the sounds that come from clients when you're asking them. They're like, oh, wow. Like, you're throwing me off here, because while you're saying, oh, I'm coming in because I'm not happy in this job. Okay, well, it's a little bit deeper than you really realize. And so one thing that I tend to do is have my clients talk to me as if it's a year from now, and envision where they want their lives to be. So talk to me in present day as if this is a year later, and what is it that you want for yourself? Because a lot of times we have to keep that in the conscious, on the forefront of our minds, is this is what I want. And so sometimes we may have an idea of what we want, and we kind of stick it to the side, because just like you said, we're nurturers, we're taking care of everybody else. And so when we don't take care of ourselves, what we want gets set on the shelf.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we don't even know what we want, right? And so sometimes we're just in a position of not being happy, right? And not having a whole lot of joy, and maybe just being dissatisfied with the job. There are some of us, I think, that we have this burning desire to do something, but we might not take that leap of faith. And then there's others of us who's like, you know what? I've done this long enough. I'm just going to do, I feel God just leading me, or divine spirit just leading me to do this. And we take that leap of faith. But for those who may be struggling with even going to find a therapist or to talk to someone, because Alisha, that has been so taboo in our community. What would you say to even encourage a man or a woman to just seek help? How would you tell them what are maybe some signs that we might feel when we know we really do need help outside of our own minds?
So one thing I would say, and always,
Oh, you're cutting in and out, Alisha.
oh no.
Okay.
So
Like
sorry.
you set it down and then it just start cutting out.
Okay, hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing, I take a page from my mom. She always look at it as, you go to the doctor if you have an ailment, with your body. You go to the dentist if you have issues with your teeth, So we have to look at mental health no different. It is a part of our whole being. So if it's a part of our whole being, we have to take care of those things. And what happens in the mental starts to take effect physically. on us, especially with stress,
Yeah.
depression, many different things that are going on. It takes a toll on our bodies, whether people realize it or not, and some do, many do. But the thing is to kind of work past that stigma, because I'm doing this for me. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with anybody else. I have to do this for me. And because we are oftentimes caretakers, how can I care for anybody else, especially us moms,
Yeah.
if I don't have myself together first?
That's so true. That is so true. How can we take care of someone? And it's also comes down to self-love as well. Like when you, like you said, you got to be willing to do the work. And so, women have to love themselves. And sometimes that's hard because of rejection, because of abandonment, because our fathers may not have been there all of our lives, because we didn't have the best relationship with our mothers. But whatever those things are that may be deeply rooted, and if you're having problems, even when those things start coming up, how do you help your clients to navigate those things when they can be, really, really fearful, in order for them not to go down the road of depression? How do we navigate some of those deep-seated, deep-rooted, traumatic and dramatic instances in life that we've had?
So in terms of when it's deep rooted anyway, but when it's traumatic, the first thing I'm going to do is send you to a therapist. Because sometimes you can have, there's plenty of people that have therapists and life coach. So when you find that you have to kind of take a few steps back and deal with what has happened in childhood on up, then at that point, that's where your focus needs to be in order for you to even continue to move forward. And so oftentimes that's something that I would refer. Now, I have had some clients that has done therapy or is doing both, and it still comes up, and so one thing that I talk to my clients about is forgiveness. Our parents are human first. We are human first, and that is my statement. I tell everyone, we are human first. And so with being human first, there is no handbook. And so while our parents could have did the greatest job, there's still going to be some things within the, environment or within the family dynamic that has affected us, that kind of plays a role in how we are today. And so I like to kind of get them to get it out. I call it dumping. Like, let's just get it out and dump it. And then, once you dump it, then you kind of sort through it, and then you work and move forward. But yeah, like I said, if it's too deeply rooted, it's something they need to sit in to really work on first before really being able to move forward, because it's going to keep pulling them back.
Yeah, that is so true. And we want to move, we want to be able to move forward. And as a life coach, that is what you do. You help people get unstuck, as they say, and you help them to move forward. What are some of your techniques that you use to help women move forward?
So some of my techniques, besides having them envision, I like to kind of have them journal certain things. We have to kind of see where there are patterns, so we can know where to break the patterns. Some things I also have them do is to speak positively. We are so hardwired to be negative that it takes work to be positive, which is very interesting. So, yeah. And so I talked about before, like getting to the root. The root is identity. Who are you? And that is such a simple question, but really in my sessions, it becomes such a deep question.
It does.
Because some people can't fully answer that. Who are you? No, not the mom, not the wife. No, who are you?
Who are you?
As a person, as a woman.
Yeah. And if you're not that person, who do you want to be, right? So I say it every day, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so what is your mind telling you that you are? Because sometimes a lot of that deep-rooted negativity has come from our environment. It sometimes come from the verbal abuse of a parent or a guardian or a teacher or even the community. Our community hasn't always been nice and kind to African American women or women of color, right? And so music has started not being very nice to us. Entertainment has started not being very nice to us. Media has
Yeah.
portrayed us as being these women who are always catty and, always in these girl fights. And so media has not portrayed us as being, very, I think sometimes when people outside of our communities think that they're giving us a compliment, it's always because it seems like we should be the exception to the norm. So, oh, you speak so well. Well, am I not supposed to be a well-spoken person, right? It's so all of the stereotypes that we have to fight and constantly come up against, especially in corporate America, especially even as entrepreneurs, sometimes just trying to get business and things like that. We know that we're not always just accepted because of our education or because we can speak common English and things like that, and that can carry a lot of stress and pressure, right? And so you have women who are coming to you about what they want to do for the rest of their lives, because sometimes we're told that we can't. How do we move beyond that we've been told we can't into believing that we can, Alisha?
And so with that, one place I'm going to start is, I am a spiritual woman. And for those who are spiritual, God said, I am who I am. So I am who God says I am.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what anybody else says, that's who I am. And so we have to kind of take a look in that mirror. We're in a mirror, but we're kind of, what we see tends to be distorted from the reality of who and what we really are. Where you have someone who may be heavier and lost weight and they still see themselves as a heavier person. We have to really kind of talk to ourselves. And there's a gospel song I really enjoy that says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Yes.
You have to speak that light. You have to speak that positivity to yourself, because society is it's tough. Social media, all of these things showing us what something is supposed to look like. But at the end of the day, we have to see who we are and live in that truth, and walk from that point forward. And it's not easy. It's not easy because even as you move forward, you grow. There's you get more naysayers. And as much as we can portray, oh, I'm tough, it bothers us. It's
It
gonna,
does.
yeah, it bothers you.
It does. And Shiree even has a question. She says, Alisha, why do we find it so hard to be positive and easy to be negative? Why is that?
So essentially, it's almost like we're kind of hardwired that way. And especially as women of color, just coming, looking at our history, it's so much fight. And even though there has been doors open and there has been some change, we still are fighting. And, Black women business or Black woman owned businesses, they are some of the top growing businesses. However, we're still disproportionately receiving resources, getting funding, and so when there's so much negativity, sometimes it's hard for us to pull through with the positivity. And so that's why you have to be able to either have, some people have those books where they write what they're grateful for every day. I tend to challenge my clients with those positive affirmations. Those are very important because what you think is what you tend to say, is how you tend to feel.
Yeah. What you think is what you tend to say, is how you tend to feel. That is so true. And that's what today's discussion is about. It's about mind power, because our minds are so powerful. What we think, and we don't even use, but an inkling really of all of the mind power that we really do have. What would you encourage our viewers to do on how to use their mind power to be more positive?
And so this is one thing that I actually am teaching my son. He's 14, and I started teaching him before 14, at a good enough age to truly understand. I let him know, just as they say, you are what you eat,
Mm-hmm.
are what you kind of put into your mind. And so
Mm-hmm.
we're feeding our minds, all of these things on social media, what other people's lives, they're portraying them to look like. We're reading so much, in the news that is just so negative and, it's so depressing. We're still dealing with the pandemic, but coming from a heavy part of it. it's a lot of negativity that's going in, that you're taking in. You have to make a conscious effort to really take in positive. And so reading books that are going to kind of help you grow, that are stimulating you in whatever it is that your passion or your career or whatever it is you feel like you want to do or that you're doing. We have to constantly feed our brains positivity, a show that makes you laugh, positive friends and family. We have to surround ourselves and give ourselves that really every day. It's a lot.
Every
Yeah.
every day. The word tells us to renew our minds daily. And I think that's for a reason. It's because, our minds really do know the power of, Paul knew it. It's like every day God gives us new grace and mercy. One of the things that the I Am That Woman movement and retreat is all about is creating a spiritual foundation. So we start our day in mindfulness with prayer and meditation that we offer from 5:30 to 6:30, because I just truly believe that, exercise, praying, meditating will help you to live a life that's more abundant, and you can let go easier of those things that I know. I have a stressful career, but if I don't allow the career to allow the stress to break me down, then my mind power says, you know what? My job is at ease. I decided to put some Post-it notes on my desk that says my state of mind is peace, joy, and happiness, and to have fun. Just having something in front of us to remind us. Yes, I don't watch the news. No, I try not to listen to negative things coming in. And, because the mind is always wanting to take you off. Oh, I have so much to do. Oh, I got to do this. I got to do that. And the next thing you know, your heart is racing, but if you slow down and if you just, I'm either burning some incense, water fountain, my dog was getting sick today. Friend came by and things were kind of going haywire. I was like, you know what? It's gonna be all right. I'm just gonna keep remembering to breathe and just work myself through it, because life can be so overwhelming. Well, one thing that we do is take a break, and that is at the I Am That Woman retreat. Alisha, I don't know if you know about it, but we're going to take a little commercial break to share with our audience October 26th through the 30th how you can be mindful and take a break at the I Am That Woman retreat. We'll be right back. October 26th through the 30th, ladies, at the Hilton Marco Island. We are going to have some dynamic speakers once again. We've had Susan Taylor, Mickey Taylor, Kim Coles, Linda Johnson Rice, Connie Lindsay, Tina Lifford, so many others, Regina Bell. And this year will be like none other, where we'll have world-renowned speakers coming in and pouring into you. Alisha, I hope you will be there to be filled up yourself.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a wonderful retreat, and we all need to retreat. And that's what we are all about, here to help women to breathe, to find your next. And that's what we're talking about today with Alisha, is mind power, and how women have the power to find their next, to do what it is that they want to do. And so Alisha is a life coach. She also is an interior designer and decorator and mother of a teenager. So we know that she has a full schedule. She's a Washingtonian, born and raised in the DC area. And so Alisha, what else would you share for us to be mindful about our mental health and our mind power? How can we, on a daily basis, just keep our minds positive?
I think one thing that you hit on, which is something that I not only do myself, but I encourage others, is essentially how you're starting today. Take that time to meditate, get up with a grateful heart on, and speaking into existence on what your day is going to be. And yes, we're going to hit those challenges, and that's okay. But, at the end of the day, it's how we tell our story. So, oh, today was such a hard day. Work was so busy. I'm so tired. Or, you know what? Even with the challenges of the day, I made it through. I am home now. I'm going to kick my feet up and rest so I can have the strength to go at it again tomorrow. So, what you tell yourself every day, it's either going to lift you up or tear you down. It's all in perspective. It's all in your perspective.
It's all in your perspective. And, talking about the mind power, whatever you allow your mind to focus on, just like you said, you'll start speaking it and then you'll start feeling it. And sometimes we're kind of like, our minds are like it's kind of like some people don't know what an album is because they're too young for that, or a cassette player, but if there's something on repeat, right? So there's the old saying, like our minds can be like a hamster on a wheel. It can go over and over and over, and trauma or drama in your life can just be played out over and over and over by what you're thinking of. So how can you do that switch? How do you turn the light on in life coaching? What do you say to your clients and in your practice to help women to turn that switch on, where it's not the same thing repeating itself?
We have to find that thing. So that thing may be a Bible verse. That thing may be a sermon. That thing may be a song, a friend, a family. We have to go to that thing. So for me personally, and when I deal with my women, I'm very transparent and I'm not afraid to speak my truth, because speaking your truth helps someone else, whether you realize it or not. So in speaking my truth, I have to turn to song. I enjoy music, gospel, jazz, R&B. I enjoy music. And so to find some uplifting music, it helps me shift. The other thing sometimes is I write certain things down, or I have things that are kind of powerful statements that are up, whether it's my calendar or I bought these little cards that has different sayings on it, and I go directly to it and read it. And I speak to myself to say, come on, girl, we got this. Like, you have this, you can do this. And so when you start to feel down, sometimes you just have to get up. And sometimes that means literally you have to get up, kind of wake yourself up and shake it off and figure out, what is that thing that gives me that encouragement? What is that thing that, lifts me up, and let me go to that. So maybe it's a good girlfriend, hey, so-and-so, and sometimes our friends and family know us all too well. What's going on? I hear your voice, So we have to go to those things that make us feel better.
Go to those things that make us feel better. Get out of your own way of having your mind to focus on those things that don't have you feeling better, and go to those things that make you feel better. So whether that's a friend, whether, like you said, that's a scripture, that's a song, that's the word of God, go to that thing that makes you feel better, and separate that thing that makes you feel worse. And sometimes that's people. Sometimes that's our closest friends. Sometimes that's family members. So if you already know that as soon as you go into this situation or talk to this person that may be toxic, and you start feeling your blood pressure going up and your joy coming down, you might need to separate yourself. You might need to have enough willpower. But one of the things that you said that I think is key, and that's being ready to do the work. And so you got to be ready to show up and do the work. Wow, Alisha, I have enjoyed this conversation. I hope you have too. If someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they contact you?
So I can be reached on cscmlifecoaching@gmail.com, or you can call me on 202-792-9840.
Awesome. cscmlifecoaching@gmail.com, or go on and give Alisha a call, 202-792-9840. The mind is so powerful. What's the last thing that you would share with our guest today about the powerful mind?
The thing that comes to mind for me is just it's time. It's time. So that means it's time to start to, if you haven't already done so, it's time to start to put in the work. And just as we both said, it is work, but it is well worth it when you come to the other side to live the life that you truly want to live. Because it's not just about the life that you want. As I say, it's the life that you deserve. And you have to realize you deserve it.
That is one thing that I think that we need to stay more mindful of than anything is, what do we deserve and what do we want? And so oftentimes women might get stuck because they don't even know what they want. And sometimes we don't even know how to have joy. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about at the I Am That Woman retreat this year, is how to have joy. Right? Because we, from our motherland shores to these American shores, it's not been a joyful journey. And sometimes we're still carrying so much of the burdens of our forefathers and foremothers that we don't know how to find our own joy. And so we're going to break down the DNA. I say it every week because I think it's important for us to realize that we should live a life of abundance. And that abundance includes joy, it includes happiness, it includes peace and a peace of mind. Yeah. So like you said, the power of the mind and the mind power, you got to encourage yourself sometimes. You got to speak to yourself sometimes. You have to pick yourself up and shake yourself off sometimes to have that peace and that joy. Is there anything else that you want to share?
I would say I think that's it really. It was really a joy, and I hope that everyone listening got something to take away, and to also take that time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself, like you said, that you have to.
Take care of yourself. You have to. Thank you so much, Alisha. One more time, you guys can reach her by her Gmail email address. Diamante is going to put that up on the screen, as well as her phone number. I'm going to be out in the area next weekend. So hopefully I'll give you a call to say hello while I'm out there in the area. But I just wanted to thank you for sharing your words of wisdom today about our mind power. And it's so important on what we are focusing on. Today, this month, you all, is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's not just about having a mental health disorder or condition, and we want to be mindful of those who do, but also just us, who are every single day having to just deal with life. And so sometimes life, especially at a middle age crisis or empty nesters or hormonal, I don't watch the news hardly ever. And this morning, for whatever reason, I turned the TV on, but then I realized why I turned it on is because they were talking about middle-aged women are being diagnosed and prescribed with more depressant meds right now than ever before. And so they were talking about that's not necessarily the best thing for us, that there's also hormone replacement therapy that you might want to talk to your OBGYN about. So instead of just running to the doctor saying, I don't have any energy, I don't have any strength, I'm tired all the time, I'm irritable, let's check our hormones. There's a lot that we start going through in our 40s and in our 50s. And so there's a lot of things that we need to be mindful about. Not to say that medication is the wrong thing. You only know what's best for you. But we want to be careful. And if you do more prayer and meditation, Alisha, would you agree that your mind will be in a much better place?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely agree. And as my mom always told me, give yourself grace.
Give yourself a break and give yourself some grace. Take some time to just breathe. I say it all the time. It's a little sign on my desk that I even have to remember to just breathe, right? So there's so much going on, but we want to be mindful in Mental Health Awareness Month to just breathe. Thank you so much, Alisha. I appreciate you. You can stay backstage for a minute while I make some announcements. So again, everybody, I just want you to be sure to know that we are having our first annual golf outing. Diamante is going to show it again on the screen. I'm going to have to show Diamante how to do this without covering up my face next time. But anyway, it's a wonderful golf outing, June 25th, Saturday, June 25th, the I Am That Woman movement, first annual golf outing, and registration opens tomorrow. You can look us up. You can register on our link tree. And it's linktr.ee/IATWM. Men are welcome too. Y'all know y'all want to come out and play with us, ladies. So you'll be able to register tomorrow. We're running a special. It's $500 for a foursome up until the end of this month. And then only $125 for individuals. We'll pair you with the foursome, and $85 for our golf supporters. I believe that includes a wellness package. I'm going to have to start putting a wellness package on my desk so I can share it with you guys. It has lavender oils and soap and bath bomb. It's a beautiful gift set, and I think that is included in your registration packets. All right, morning mindfulness, Monday through Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. You can join us. That's Central Time, 605-313-5104. It's just a conference call. You don't have to get up, get ready, get pretty. Just call in, get some prayer meditation. Start your morning in mindfulness. The mind is so powerful. As a man thinketh, so is he. So I pray that you will join us for our daily prayer and meditation to help you. Thank you, Diva Jones. What's up, Soror? I'm so glad that you joined us today, Sands. Appreciate you there. And Jewel, thank you again. Shiree, April, thank you so much for tuning in. And all Jackie, thank you. So good to see you. And all the other ladies, if I missed somebody. Hey, it's a hot day here in Chicago. I think we might break a record. I'm getting ready to get out of here and go out and enjoy some of this good weather after having a wonderful week doing the Chicago Business Opportunity Fair for the Chicago Minority Supplier Development Council. Great conference. Thank you so much, Deborah Jennings Johnson, for that opportunity. We had a great time, but I'm resting up this weekend, y'all. Got a board meeting tomorrow with the Southside Community Arts Center, getting everything ready to go for this first annual golf outing that we're so excited about. And we're hoping you have a blessed weekend too. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.